Hey Mom and Dad, it's your son William, and I just wanted to let y'all know how much I love y'all and how special y'all are to me. I'm so grateful for y'all as parents.
Hi Oma and Opa, it's your favorite granddaughter. I just wanted to say that I'm very grateful for all the memories that y'all helped make for me and my brothers growing up around the holidays.
We are in, I think, month 9 of a global pandemic right now. And the thing that I've been hearing from people over and over again is this deep need for connection. Connection to the divine, but also connection to the people that we love. Because so many of us have been socially distanced from the people that we love for a very long time.
Way too many to count have not been able to hug family members or be in the presence of family members for a very long time. And I think there's an exhaustion that comes with that has to do with a feeling of a loss of connection. There's something about physical proximity that makes us feel connected to people. There's something physiologically that happens when we're in the physical presence of other people that we're not getting on a regular basis. And I think we're feeling that loss pretty keenly.
So we had this dream of coming up with an experience for people that would remind them of the connection that is always there and the connections that they already have in their lives, but also so that they might experience connection in a different way or in a deeper way. So what we did is we partnered with Pollyanna Theater Company, and the people from Pollyanna were absolutely amazing. They hired a scriptwriter who came up with a script, and then we put on this play that took place in 5 different parking lots. And scene 1 was in parking lot 1, and scene 2 was in parking lot 2, and people would drive from scene to scene. And at each scene there was a different radio frequency that they would tune into so that they could listen to the scene through their radio and stay in their cars and stay safe and socially distanced. Scene 4 was the nativity scene. So there was a Mary and a Joseph, and the woman who played Mary was absolutely hilarious. We had different show times. So people would come to the check-in point for their show time, and then we'd send them off in groups of 5 or 6 cars to scene 1. And then at the end of the day, for the final show time, it started out with, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 cars. But then by the time they all got to scene 5, it was all the volunteers and all the actors. So there was probably over 20 cars there, if I had to guess, for scene 5. And I wanted to create a surprise for them. So what I did is I contacted people in their lives who love them, people that they have a special connection with. And I recorded just short voice messages from these loved ones. And then when it was time, I played them for them.
So we were sitting in our cars listening to her talk on the radio, and then she talked about a special, a connection with somebody special to you. And one by one, we began to hear the voices of significant people in one another's lives coming through our radios as we sat in our cars. And I thought, well, I didn't really help that much, so I know that Amy didn't get in touch with anybody in my family. So I was thinking that, but I was so moved by hearing somebody's wife, somebody's son, somebody's partner say how much they love them and how proud they were of them, and these really tender, touching things that I began to get tearful. I just thought, this is so beautiful. And then I heard the voice of my own son, and what he said was gorgeous and heartfelt, and I'll never forget it. My jaw just dropped. I couldn't believe it. Of course, knowing Amy, I should have known, but I didn't. And then I heard my other son speak, and it was really moving. And I thought, we really are connected, even though I didn't even imagine they'd been thinking about me in the previous few days. They were busy living their lives somewhere else, and to hear their voice and their thoughts and those of everybody else that had a message for them was beautiful and something that I will cherish when I think about this particular year and this particular Christmas season.
The theme of the play was connections. And the idea was that although this moment in time in 2020 might feel uniquely difficult, and in a way it is uniquely difficult, we know that every time, every era has had its own difficulties. And so when you're watching that play, you can look back on these reimagined moments throughout history in different eras. And you can think about how if they got through their difficult times, then maybe we can get through our difficult times as well. But the really interesting piece was that these actors were so funny and so full of life that you couldn't miss the fact that when you look to the past, you can often also see the joy that has always been there and that is still there all around us.
I was immediately touched by scene one of a mother, I assumed, a single mother and her son and their dog. There was a real dog there. It was so real. It was so what we're going through. And in the scene, she doesn't even realize it's Christmas Eve. They've gotten the tree up, but the lights aren't on the tree. They're ordering from Amazon. They're despairing that the house won't be filled the next day with life and people that they love. And you can feel that lack of connection that they're experiencing with the people they would normally share Christmas Day with. There was something about that I thought, wow, this is a glimpse into what hundreds of thousands of millions of people are experiencing right now. We love our technology. It does connect us, and yet there are pieces of it that can't ever replace what happens when you're in the room with somebody or when you're living out the traditions that you've loved for year after year after decade. And there was a sweet connection between her and her son and both of them and the dog. So again, that connection was still present. It just looked very different. And so I think in the midst of all of this, there are beautiful, joyful things that are deepening us and expanding us, even as we're grieving things that we've lost and we don't know how long until we can return to them.
And while it feels like right now everything is changing and the return to normalcy is still so far off, we know that there are some things in life that do not change. Our ability to love does not change. Our ability to open our hearts to other people does not change. God's connection with us does not change. Our ability to connect with others does not change. And the truth does not change. And the truth that we remember this season is that God came to us as a tiny baby so that we might come to know God more fully and so that we can have a deeper connection with God. And because of that, a deeper connection with each other. So although many of us are unable to be with our loved ones this holiday season, we still have those deep connections. And so I would encourage you to reach out to the people that you love and the people that you have connections with, and to keep those connections going. And I'd also encourage you to look out for people who look like they might need human connection. Because when we do that, when we love each other, when we connect with each other, that's one of the most important ways that we can show our love for God. So in whatever way that you celebrate this season, whatever new and different ways that you celebrate this year, in whatever tradition that you celebrate in your family, I hope that you are able to really feel those deep connections that you have with the people that you love. I hope that you're able to feel a deep connection with the divine, And I hope that you're maybe even able to make some new connections as well.
Hi, Mom. It's me, Cassidy. I just wanted to say thank you for being my mother. Without you, I would not be the man I am today, and for that, I am forever grateful. I love you, always and forever.